So let's talk about something that so many business owners run into. It's this incredibly frustrating feeling of hitting a wall, a growth ceiling. You've got a good business, things are working, but you just can't seem to punch through to that next level. And maybe this sounds a little familiar. Let me ask you, do you feel successfully stuck? I mean, you've built something that actually works, something real, but now you're just stuck. You're making money, you're successful by most measures, but you are completely, totally maxed out. And here's the real kicker, the paradox of it all. That wall you're hitting, it's not a sign that you're failing, not at all. In fact, it's usually a direct result of your success, a success that's been built entirely on your personal effort, which, as we're about to see, has some pretty hard limits. Okay, so let's really dive into this. We're going to look at three stories, three different founders who are at totally different revenue levels, but they all slammed into a really predictable ceiling. And I'm willing to bet you're going to see a little bit of yourself in at least one of them. First up, let's meet Jennifer. She runs a B2B service business, doing about $450,000 a year. But honestly, she's trapped on this painful treadmill. She works like crazy, revenue inches up toward $500,000, then she gets totally overwhelmed, has to pull back, and the whole exhausting cycle just starts all over again. And this quote, wow, this really says it all, doesn't it? She thought building a business was her ticket to freedom, but instead, she's just created a high-stress job that she can't get away from. And get this, every time she tries to grow by hiring someone, it somehow creates more work for her, not less. And this right here, this is exactly why she's stuck. Just look at these constraints. Everything, all the processes, the quality control, it's all just living inside her head. There's no documented system, no clear way to hand things off, so she is the business. And there's only so much of her to go around, right? Okay, so our next story builds on this exact same theme. Meet Sarah. She's operating at a higher level, bringing in around $850K, but she has been stuck right there for 3 solid years. Every single time she gets close to that magic $1 million mark, something, somewhere, just breaks. And the frustrating part for Sarah is she knows exactly what she needs to do. She needs to build out processes, hire a real sales team, and get some marketing that isn't just word of mouth. But she is completely trapped in the day-to-day chaos, just trying to keep the wheels from falling off. And here are her constraints. Are you starting to see a pattern here? Every single client project is a one-off custom job. She's the entire sales department, and her team is constantly waiting for her to tell them what to do next. Just like Jennifer, Sarah is the infrastructure, and you simply cannot scale yourself. All right, now for our final story. Let's look at Marcus. His agency is pulling in over $2.3 million in revenue. So from the outside, he looks like a huge success. But on the inside, it's pure, unadulterated chaos. And his revenue has been completely flat for 2 years. This quote just nails it. The business isn't running on systems or processes. It's running on what he calls duct tape and heroic effort. It's fueled by the unsustainable, burnout-inducing effort of Marcus and his team. They're incredibly talented, but there's nothing repeatable about how they work. Just look at this. There are no standard services, which leads to high turnover with both clients and employees, and the team is just totally burned out. And what's at the center of it all? Again, the founder is the single point of failure for all knowledge and every important decision. It doesn't matter that the revenue is higher, it is the exact same problem. So we've got 3 different founders at 3 completely different revenue levels, but are you seeing that common thread? It all points to one single diagnosis. And the diagnosis is this: founder dependency. It's that critical point where the business literally cannot function without you, where you have become the single biggest bottleneck to your own company's growth. This slide really lays out the 2 paths you can take. In a stuck business over on the left, any attempt at growth just creates more chaos. But in a scalable business on the right, growth actually creates clarity. And the big difference here isn't about working harder. It's about making a fundamental shift from the founder being the infrastructure to the systems being the infrastructure. So how do you actually make that shift? How did these founders finally break through their ceilings? Well, it required a massive change in their role. They had to go from being the main person doing the work to being the person who designs the systems for the work. This is it, right here.
This is probably the single most important, and honestly the hardest, transition a founder ever has to make. Your job is no longer to be the best consultant or the best salesperson in the company. Your new job is to become the architect of a business that can grow and thrive even when you're not there.
And here's the roadmap to actually get there. It all starts with number one, you've got to document your processes. Get all that knowledge that's trapped in your head onto paper so other people can run with it. Then two, you have to build systematic ways to acquire customers. You're not just hoping for referrals. Number three is all about creating leadership capacity, developing a team that can truly own outcomes without you. Four is installing metrics so you can manage the business by looking at the numbers, not just relying on gut feel. And when you do all that, you finally get to step into your real job. Number five, becoming the architect of the business. Okay, so we've looked at the stories, we've walked through the solution. Now for this final part, let's turn the camera around and focus on you. So take a look at this. Does this sound like you? Hiring a new person just makes you busier? If so, you're Jennifer, and your first job is documentation. Or how about this? Your revenue is flat and you live and die by referrals. Well, then you're Sarah, and you need to start building a real sales system. And if your team just feels chaotic and burned out all the time, you're Marcus. Your most important job is to standardize how you deliver your services. So I'm going to leave you with this one question. Scaling your business isn't about luck, and it's not even about working harder. It is about being systematic. It's about being an architect. So think about it. What is the one system, the single most important system that you need to build next to finally break through your ceiling?